Hello there, my name is Samantha Turner. I am one of the lecturers in occupational therapy at the University of Plymouth and also the admissions tutor for the BSc programme. Welcome to our virtual open day presentation. It is a real shame we're not able to see you face to face, but in the current circumstances we still wanted to give you a good overview of what our courses offer you here at Plymouth. The plan for this presentation is to give you a little bit of an insight into the programmes that we offer, the assessments and the way we provide the education and teaching here at the University of Plymouth, consider the placement element of our programmes and give you an insight into the team that will be teaching you if you were to join us. So firstly, thinking about what we as occupational therapists do, what is our job? Hopefully some of you will already have some insight into an occupational therapist role. Hopefully you might have had family members who have been occupational therapists or friends, or hopefully done a little bit of work experience in this area. Occupational therapists work with people of all ages, helping them to carry out the activities that they need or want to do in order to lead healthy and fulfilling lives. The best sort of element to our roles as occupational therapists is that it's such a varied job. You can work in all sorts of different areas of practice and you can change throughout your career, so it's never a role that you're going to get tired with. As occupational therapists, we work across the lifespan, so we work with children, adults and older adults, and we also get taught and educate across both mental health, physical health, psychosocial and all of the elements of a person as a whole. This is really unique to our profession, I would say. This is an example of some of the areas that you might work in when you are qualified as an occupational therapist, but also as a student. We work with people in their own homes. We work with people to be able to manage aspects of their day-to-day routine within their own environments, the environments that are important to them and that hopefully will enable them to be as independent as possible. We work with people within their work or their employment, whether that's paid or unpaid. Sometimes we go out and see people within their work environment, make environmental adjustments, routine adjustments, advice to the teams that are supporting people within the workplace. But really importantly, we work with people to demonstrate the importance and meaning of engaging in leisure. And leisure can be anything that you do on a day-to-day basis that is important to you, that is not work or your normal day-to-day life activities such as self-care. Thinking about occupational therapy, we look at how people are engaging in all elements of their day-to-day life, any occupations that are meaningful to them. Examples of these could be self-care, which is getting yourself dressed and washed and managing your mental health from a social self-care perspective. Thinking about productive occupations, so productive occupations could be work, providing yourself with meals and managing the domestic chores at home within your work environment. And finally, leisure. And leisure can be any hobbies or interests that you might have as an individual. And obviously, what is really key to our role is that every single person that you work with will be completely different. So to give you a little insight into the programmes that we offer here in the occupational therapy team. You can see on the screen here there's a framework that we use for both our higher education postgraduate and our pre-registration award. Now what pre-reg and postdoctoral mean is that pre-registration means you are being taught by the team here with an end goal to be able to register with the UK Healthcare Professions Council or the HCPC. This then means you are ready to practice as a qualified occupational therapist. We also offer postgraduate options, which I will talk about in a minute, which are available to people that are already registered as an occupational therapist but want to engage in further study. The pre-registration awards that we offer here, we've got the BSc Honours in Occupational Therapy, which is a 3-year programme. We have the MSc Occupational Therapy pre-registration 2-year programme, which is an intense option, which is 45 weeks in length. And this is available to people that have previously got a degree and recent study over the past 5 years, with other criteria available as well. And finally, you'll see in purple here, we have our integrated Masters in Occupational Therapy. This is a new programme that we have recently gone through the formal approval process with our Royal College of Occupational Therapists and the Healthcare Professions Council. This is the point where we put forward our ideas and a whole new programme to see whether or not the RCOT and the HCPC would like to approve us to deliver it. We're really excited to say that we have been given approval from our Royal College of Occupational Therapists and the HCPC following our approval event that was in February 2020. However, we're still waiting for the formal paperwork for this, so we actually can't advertise this as an option to proceed with as we stand today. Things are changing on a daily basis, and we hope to be able to advertise this formally in the coming weeks. I will talk a little bit more about this in a couple of slides' time. So here at the University of Plymouth, we deliver what we call a spiral curriculum, and this is across all of our programmes, not just our BSc. This is across our BSc, will be our integrated masters and also our pre-reg masters. A spiral curriculum is an idea where you are introduced in your early stages of your learning to a range of different concepts, a range of different learning, a range of different subjects, and these then develop in complexity and challenge over the years or the time that you are studying. And we deliver this type of curriculum because we know that actually as occupational therapists, it's about lifelong learning. Your learning doesn't finish when you finish your degree, it continues through your whole career. And you will be, throughout your whole career, exposed to a range of the different topics that we are introducing you to within your university programmes. An example of some of these subjects are your interprofessional learning. Interprofessional learning is about learning with others and learning through other programmes. The beauty of our programme here at the University of Plymouth is that we are part of a school of health professions, and within our school of health professions, other professions are also being delivered, such as physiotherapy, paramedicine, social work. Now, we feel it's really key that you as students get opportunities to learn and develop alongside other professions, because ultimately when you qualify, you will be learning and working alongside other professionals. We also deliver a lot of research, and I will talk about this more on the next slide, but you will be introduced to research approaches and research skills early on in your degrees. We have our occupational studies, and these are our occupation-specific modules that are related to our profession and our core belief and set of skills that we use to practice. And finally, we have your practice placements, and this is where you go out and actually work alongside a qualified occupational therapist to learn the reality of applying the theory that we're learning at university into practice. We deliver our programmes a range of different ways from an education and pedagogical perspective. We have problem-based learning, which is where you as a group of students are put into small groups of between 8 to 10 students, and you are provided with a case study. And a case study that has been developed from real world practice that us as occupational therapists, prior to working in academia, worked with some of the people that you are going to be receiving from a case study perspective. You then go through a process of learning where you are facilitated by a lecturer, but you are learning yourselves through both your own life experience, what you know from the placements you've already engaged in, and also the research and knowledge that you have already got and that's out there available within textbooks and the articles and journals and other options for research. Problem-based learning is a sort of core element for the education that we deliver here at Plymouth, because it's a really good way to learn the real-world process of what you would do with a person that is presenting with a certain condition or difficulty within their day-to-day life. We also deliver our workshops, which are where you as a cohort will be split into two, so normally about 30 students or 25 to 30 students, and you will be learning a little bit more informally. You will be learning from each other. There'll be lots of tasks that you're involved in, and within this workshop there's lots of good discussion and rich learning from one another, as well as us as the teachers. And also, obviously, we deliver lectures, and lectures are where we, as the teaching staff or outside speakers, will deliver a whole lecture, whether that's an hour or 2 hours, to the whole cohort of students, sometimes mixed between BSc and MSc, sometimes just one or the other, and this would be the sort of core learning for that topic that we're delivering. You are engaged in a lot of experiential learning within your programme here, your programmes here at Plymouth. Experiential learning means that you are learning from real world experience. So that includes our placements, but also we have a range of other really good modules or teaching within modules, such as you can see the picture on the top right here, where our students went out for a community engagement module and provided some voluntary work to one of our local charities, and you can see some of the brilliant resources they've made within their days volunteering there. You can see at the bottom we've got some biscuits, #ILoveOT. This is one of our baking sessions that we do to ensure that you as students get to engage in a range of different occupations, to have a little bit of an insight and reflection into what it might mean to people to engage in some of these occupations. And finally, you'll see the picture there of the soft toys. These aren't actually soft toys. These are part of a big piece of research that is occurring in Cornwall called EPIC, which is around e-health and e-health prescription within Cornwall. And these are actually all e-health resources that are being used and trialled within a range of residential care settings. And we have access to these for teaching for our students as well, to develop that confidence in being digitally literate within our profession, for our future of our profession. And finally, interprofessional working. As I mentioned on the last slide, you will be exposed to learning and education with a range of other professions, both within education but also research. I have mentioned that we have an exciting opportunity with our integrated Masters in Occupational Therapy. This is going to be called the MOCTHA in Occupational Therapy. It will be 4 years in length, and what it will mean is that you will complete your studies with a master's degree rather than a BSc degree, but ready at that point to practice as a qualified OT. The learning will be shared between the first couple of years will be mixed jointly with the BSc programmes, and the second couple of years will be mixed with both BSc, the MSc Pre-Reg and the MSc Advanced Professional Practice, which is our postgraduate study. We're aiming for this programme to be starting in 2020, September this year, but we are waiting formal agreement to commence that, so watch this space, and please do contact us if you're interested in this option. I'm not going to read through all of the modules that we deliver, but you can see here how we deliver our BSc programme over the 3 years, engaging in a range of really interesting topics that are relevant to us as occupational therapists. You'll see that there's a mixture of our foundation learning, which is occupational therapy specific. You've got some community type learning, your anatomy and physiology, and your biology and your psychology and sociology, especially within that first year. Our second year tends to be thinking about the person across the lifespan, so thinking about the young person, the adult, the older adult, and also starting to think with your project studies modules about research skills and developing a research project that you engage in your third year. And then your third year, you engage in a couple of interprofessional modules, as well as the research project and some really interesting modules that are really getting you ready to practice as occupational therapists, such as the innovative and contemporary practitioner. The MSc pre-registration programme is about delivering the BSc programme or the contents of the BSc, but into a more accelerated, intense 2-year period, which is but it's 45 weeks a year rather than the 35 that is delivered within the BSc. The placements are at the same time as the BSc programme, and there are some shared modules. However, there are also shared modules with the MSc in Advanced Practice programme, which is the postgraduate programme, and you engage in some really interesting modules that lead you on to engaging in a research project individually in your second year. Both BSc and MSc students get to engage in research. We feel that this is really important for our students, so they are really research literate and ready in their future careers to engage in research within their clinical areas. BSc students work in small groups to engage in their research, and MSc students will submit an individually written thesis. So both MSc and BSc students engage in placements, as I've already mentioned. Students can be placed in a range of different settings across the whole of the Southwest. So it's really important to sort of be aware that you could be placed away from your home. That might be up in Somerset or right down at the tip of Cornwall. We have placements across the whole of the county, or the counties, and we sort of strive to provide really varied, interesting, good, high quality placements. As a student, that you have to engage in both physical and mental health placement setting. So across the 3 placements that you engage in, you will have one of each, as well as we do try and expose you to some community-based experience as well. You will be supervised through a qualified occupational therapist or one of us as a lecturers within the university. You get to learn about your placements well in advance, so you can plan if you do need to move, but we are happy to discuss this with you further. You can see the length and the position of placements here. The first placement's 7 weeks, the second placement's 9 weeks, and the third placement is 12 weeks in length. And then through the summer months, or it's September for the MSc pre-registration programme, we have what we call a trail, and this is if for any reason you haven't been able to go out on placement, this is the time that you would go out on placement. All placements are full-time, and you are expected to be available Monday to Friday between the hours of 8 till 5. We have a range of different assessments here at the University of Plymouth across all of our programmes. Each of the modules have a linked assessment to them, and they're not just all written essays. We have a range of, especially within our first year, we have a couple of exams, so short answer or multiple choice examinations. We have presentations, essays, reports, academic posters that you then present to your peers. Practice placement, you actually get marked by your practice educator, so this is a way of being assessed. You present case studies, you engage in group research or individual research dissertation, you put together portfolios, and you also in your third year present a business case trying to develop some of those entrepreneurial skills. And this is a really well received module by our third year students. Assessments are undertaken both by academic staff, so us in the teaching team, but also practice-based occupational therapists and other academic staff within the school. So I'm not going to introduce everyone, but I just wanted to put a couple of slides up here so you can meet our occupational therapy team. You'll see on the left of the slide Dr. Alison Warren. Alison is our academic lead for occupational therapy across all of our programmes. You can also see Marnie Smith, who's our BSc programme lead, and Dr. Rosie Rain, who is our MSc pre-reg programme lead. You'll also see Fiona here, and she will be the programme lead for the Integrated Masters in Occupational Therapy once this has commenced. So I just also wanted to highlight to you, when we had our recent approval event in February, we were thrilled to be provided with 4 commendations from our HCPC and the Royal College of Occupational Therapists. Now, for those of you that probably don't understand the processes involved in this higher education approval or accreditation, once you are approved to deliver your programs, the HCPC can actually provide you with commendations for really good practice. It's quite common to get perhaps 1 or 2, and we got 4 at our recent event, so we were really overwhelmed with the brilliant feedback we had from our governing bodies. And this is, I think, testament to the hard work that our staff and our students engage in. Just to let you know, I'm sure you're probably already aware, but our current programmes are all delivered on a building that we rent from Marjon University in the north of the city. As a student, you will get a free bus pass, so you can travel up from main campus. You still live on main campus and get to engage in that way of student life, but you come and have your learning up in the north of the city. In 2022, we have been told that we are moving to a new building, which is called Intercity Place, right next to Plymouth train station. I'm telling you this because A, it's quite an exciting opportunity, but also as a student that will be starting in 2020, you will have some of your learning within this building. So I wanted to sort of share that news with you. You can see here that this is our UCAS link. So if you haven't yet engaged in your application process, please do follow this and follow the procedure required. Finally, I just wanted to share with you some of our contact details. You'll see that myself and Miranda Cunningham are the admissions tutors for both the MSc and the BSc programme. I've left my email and her email up on this slide. Please do contact us with any questions. You can find us on Twitter. We're all very avid Twitter users, and it's a really good way to look at what we're doing here, especially the OT Plymouth Uni link. And finally, our admissions team details are there on the bottom. These are just a few final photos of some of our students and some of the graduation pictures that we take on that last day that we see our finished and qualified students. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. I hope you've enjoyed this PowerPoint presentation. I'm sorry I'm not seeing you all face to face, but hopefully this has given you a little insight. And thanks so much for your time, and thanks for listening.